Good morning, Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. I'm giving you another Apple update. Now, yesterday I took a little different approach with you guys. I tried to show you a more micro approach because I know everyone's been so worried about the big picture in Apple, which, there are a lot of worries out there, but I wanted to see what steps kind of take to get a bit better of a technical composure. And yesterday we walked in, Apple I think was up like $7, $8, and I wanted to see for the first time, can Apple hold the gap up? For the first time, can people who just think they could sell the gap open for it to fail, go negative and put pressure on it, will that not work? And yesterday for the first time, Apple gapped up, went above that pivot point we talked about, which was around I think 538, held and did some decent constructive action. So that gave me some clues to yesterday enter for an active trade and then stay with it overnight, and those on my VTF saw it go green again for the first time since Friday, and maybe have the confidence to stay with it. So if you look at the chart of Apple, you will see the little granular approach or micro approach I want to take will show you that here is that low, that outside day that we spoke about. This is when the 522 strategy or red dog reversal to buy. You had commitment to the move and moved all the way up to the moving average where it failed. Then you had that harsh 3-day move down to engulf this area. And a lot of people were feeling it. A lot of people are like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Especially after a move from 700 all the way down to 505. You would have thought it could have repaired and even went higher, but it didn't. So, the question is, what did Apple have to do to take a step in the right direction? And yesterday, I know this doesn't mean a lot to people looking at this, but to me it meant something. All right, you had the previous day's high of 538.51. We opened around it and held above it. You look at the 8-minute chart, you'll see here was your gap. This is what I was talking about. You had a gap up right here, meaning you had to pay higher for this versus the close the prior day, and it stuck. You actually had some follow through all the way back up to like the 548-ish area, and then at the end of the day when the market sold off, it came in, but they protected this gap. So to me that was one constructive sign short term to stay with Apple for potential continuation. So you go back to the daily chart, what is the next step that could happen in order to make this look a little bit better technically? Because everyone's saying, Apple's only a technical trading stock now, it's not fundamental, but that's not true. If institutions and mutual funds want to buy it, they will control the way the pattern looks. We just ride the patterns and trade it accordingly. So right here, you have a mini downtrend. So at this particular point, yesterday's high of 549.56 will probably be a little resistance, and then you have 555. If Apple can get above this small downtrend and trigger through it, that would also relieve some pressure, and then your next area comes in around 560. So at this particular point, doing some work above yesterday's low, which is around 537, the prior day high of 538, would be constructive. Getting through this 555 or 549 change would be the next obstacle, and then we'll measure it again. So all in all, what I've been trying to do is I've been just trying to take a trading approach. When there's a commitment to it, you stay with it. Don't close your eyes and just say it's Apple, because I know the fundamentals look strong and the products we all love, the iPad, the iPad mini, the iPhone 5, and the Christmas season, and now they're talking about iTV, which is the reason why it could be up a little bit this morning. Just continue to monitor closely. See if it starts changing and getting more constructive, which it did start yesterday. So if you are on my virtual trade floor and you're, the way I go about my days, even on Twitter, you see that, I'm long Apple. I sell a little bit pre-market, up $6, $7, and then I stay with it. And then if the day progresses where you see commitment, then I start trading it more actively based on the pivot points I just showed you. And then based on the close, that'll tell me whether or not it's just another cash flow trade or I can continue with it as a swing from yesterday. So keep monitoring the action, keep trading the time frames, and let's see if we could clear another obstacle today in Apple.
Hi, I'm Sean Hendelman of T3 Live, where we train, coach, and mentor traders in order to help you put your money to work with confidence. The T3 Live approach is a blueprint for you to recognize, adapt, and ultimately take advantage of different market conditions. To begin your training with T3 Live, we would like to offer you the opportunity to enroll in our free 30-day online home study course. Fill in your name and email address, and I'll see you on the other side.